What's up, guys, and welcome back to Sex with Kat and Mark. And this week, we're going to be talking about some interesting body fetishes and a little bit about cosmetic surgery. But before we get into all of that, Kat, how's your week been?
I have a really funny story from the weekend,
Perfect.
actually. I've got a question for you from it, but let me tell you the story first.
All right, hit me.
So I was at this bar that I'm always at, and I'm like walking, and then all of a sudden, like, I hear my name being called out, and I turn around, and there's these two guys there, and they're like looking at me, and they're like said my name again, and I was like, the hell, like, do I know these people? Anyway, they like called me over, and I was like, oh, hi, and then they were like, oh, like, anyway, they told me who they were, and so there were guys that went to this like neighboring high school that I went to. So like we didn't go to the same high school, but the area I grew up in, there was like a lot of high schools that kind of all did sport together and were kind of all near each other, and everyone from these, like, I don't know, it was like 5 or 6 high schools, all kind of knew each other. So they said like they'd seen me around at like parties. One of them kind of like his name was familiar, and like they had me on like Facebook and Bbls or whatever with the socials back then.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. So they said they like, you know, knew of me. Anyway, and yeah, you know, whatever, they were talking and whatnot, and then they were like, okay, well, like, I don't know how to explain this without like kind of tooting my own horn, but they were like, oh, like, you know, I'm going to have to, just because it's relevant to the story. They were like, oh, you know, like you were so hot in high school, and like you're still hot. I was like, okay, like, thank you. Didn't really know what to say. And they're like, oh, yeah, you probably don't know who we are, but like we knew who you were. And I was like, oh, okay, I don't know if I should be insulted by that. To be honest, I was a little bit of a hoe in high school, so like it's pretty fair that people did know who I was. But
so they knew, so they're saying they knew you from high school, or like they figured out who you are now?
No, like, so they knew of me back then, because like I can't, like, yeah, I did used to know a lot of people then, but like back in
you're a popular
high
girl.
School.
Is that what you're trying to
Yeah,
tell me?
look, without like, I can't like really give away too much, but there was a reason why like a lot of people from like a lot of schools knew me. It was nothing bad. It was nothing bad. It was like, I know, like, this is sounding really suspicious, but like,
exactly. That's
anyway, like I had a lot of friends throughout like a lot of the schools, so like they knew who I was.
Interesting.
And they were like, oh, like, you know, like we thought you were like really hot, like something like I don't know, we used to want to bang you, or like whatever, something along those lines. And then they were like, oh, like they basically asked like, can they bang me now? And I was like, no.
Were you like, listen, you can, but it's gonna cost you. Okay, you can.
No, I didn't say that, because they obviously like they knew me by my like real name, because this is like from high school.
Oh, okay, right. So you don't want to fuck around with it. Do they know what you do now though? Like, do they know?
No, well, no, I don't know. They wouldn't. I didn't get the impression that they knew.
Okay.
I don't think really anyone from like my past knows. I mean, I'm sure some people might, but well, they definitely didn't, because they didn't say anything about it.
Right.
But anyway,
they were just like, yo, been a long time. Nice to catch up with you. Can we bang?
Well, so what I'm thinking, so this is like my question for you that just kind of like made me think about it, because it was just a really random situation. So they kind of like, you know, okay, yeah, all right. I was pretty cool back in high school.
Okay.
And they were obviously not cool, because I didn't know who they were.
Okay.
Is it like, as an adult, is it like a thing to like want to sleep with someone in high school that was cool? Like if you got the opportunity?
Oh, yeah.
I think that's more what it was. I don't think it was me now. It was, oh, this was the girl that was cool in high school. Let's try and bang her now. And then we can go and tell everyone that we fucked that popular girl from high school.
Yeah.
Is that because that's like, to be honest, like they weren't really my type. Like, well, clearly they weren't my type then, and they're still not my type now. But I was like, no, I'm not going to give them that satisfaction anyway. Even if I was into it, I was like, I'm not going to like let them go and talk to all their friends like, oh yeah, we banged that chick from high school.
That's cool. See, okay, I'm coming in from the other side. So when I was at school, I wasn't really that popular. I was a bit of a nerd back in school, right? So I think there is definitely like a part of that where you grow up into an adult, and high school is like a huge part of like your identity, and then it changes when you're an adult. So I think like there is, for some guys, like that part where they're trying to prove themselves, or that's like, I've always had a crush on this girl, and so you're still in your like teenage self when you see them again, and you're like, fuck, right? Like I almost want to like prove myself or like tick that off in a way. It sounds like where they're coming from. So yeah, I'm sure for a lot of guys, like if they grow up with some type of crush, it's always going to kind of like sit there and be there. So yeah, I'm not surprised that even if like, I think it's a case even, say you were to become like, I don't know, your life goes to shit, right? And you're like a nobody now and you become like super unattractive. I think there's still a part of like guys that is going to be like sitting in their mind that, oh, but she was a hot girl back in high school. I think that's for sure sitting there with these guys. So yeah,
that's all I thought about in my head. But like, oh yeah. And then I was like, oh God, like if I had like, and then I kind of then thought about it in the reverse and I was like, okay, there were like a few guys in high school that were like cool. And I was like, oh, like I would have banged them. And it's like, if I'd met them now, would I want to bang them? And I was like, you know what? Probably just to say that I did it. Yeah. Just to say that I finally did it. I finally got with whoever from high school.
It's such an interesting dynamic. Like, because I think about like high school reunions, and for me, like I don't bother going. I don't see a big deal. Like for me, it's like if I was going to be friends with these people, like I'd still be friends with them. Like I don't really see the point of meeting up. But I think for a lot of people, it is that like they carry on this like need or identity or something in their past. So yeah, it's super interesting. It's got me thinking. I wonder how I'd react if I met a couple of girls from school back in the day that were like the fucking hot popular girls. How'd I react now? I probably wouldn't give a shit, but it'd be interesting.
I've lost touch with most people from high school. There's not that many people that I've probably run into from like way back in the day. That's probably the first time. But like, it's I don't know. Yeah. All right. How was your week? What's your story?
Week's been good. I just got into Austin. So I'm traveling America now for the next month, running some workshops and stuff here. So it's good. But before I left, we went to Queensland for the weekend and we went out on both the nights, right? And we went to this club called Elsewhere. And for those that obviously don't know, we went there for the music. It's a techno club and the music is fucking great. And we got on it. And it was a great time.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it. I went with you once and I lasted like 5 minutes and then I think I ended up going to Asylum because they had hardstyle playing.
Okay, I was like, question for you, right? Were there a lot of creeps the last time we went?
To Elsewhere?
To Elsewhere, yeah.
Oh, look, I was not all there.
Yeah, okay.
I'm being honest. I was probably that last time, that was when I was still probably in my party girl phase a little bit. So I couldn't tell you.
Okay. All right, that's fair. Because
and I didn't stay there for long. I think I was only there for half an hour and then I made someone go to Asylum with me.
Yeah, I think you bounced pretty quick. So anyway, there were a lot. There was a very creepy vibe, and there was a lot of like.
Well, it was a creepy club, from what I can remember.
But there seemed to be like a lot of gay dudes, right? A lot of gay guys, and that's
was
fine.
Was it a gay night?
Right? Well, this is the thing, right? So, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'll go to gay bars, party, but they kept trying to like grab you and shit. Like, they were like drunk or like off their head on like M and like literally like grabbing you and shit. I'm like, dude, what the fuck is going on? So anyway, we went there both nights. It was amazing. It was fun, the music or whatever. But then our friends that we both know that's a fan of the show, she came on like the last day and we're like, yeah, we went to Elsewhere. And then she's like, oh, you guys went to a gay bar both the nights? And I was like, excuse me, what? So apparently it is a gay club.
Oh, so it's like ARC.
Yeah, exactly. And we all had
so
no
was it a gay club last time or is it nearly a gay club?
She's like, it's been a gay club for like 12 years. That's what I thought. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it didn't strike me as a gay club last time we were there, but maybe I wasn't there for long enough.
No. And I was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Right.
Maybe there was like
I was getting groped on the dance floor over and over again.
Oh my God, I had no idea.
Me neither.
Oh, and that's your favorite place there.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, fuck.
And you've been recommending that place to people.
I'm like, it's the best. My cousin was there that week and he's like, where you going? I'm like, dude, this place, it's great music, blah, blah. He's probably looked it up like gay bar. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Oh my God, that's so funny.
I'm still going. It's a great place. I just got to like.
Oh, so everyone would have probably, no wonder they were groping you. They would have assumed that you were gay.
Exactly. And I'm like, dude, what is going on here? But yeah, there you go. So that's look, I'll still go for the music. I don't give a fuck. It's a great place. Just be careful.
Oh, God.
Yeah. All right.
That's so funny. Okay, that is new information to me.
So I'm going to drag you there next time. Just a heads up. We're going there again. All right, Kat, let's get into some body fetishes. All right, I find this super interesting. So I guess let's start with here, actually. This is my first question for you. Is there any part of the body on a guy that you particularly like or you check out that isn't the obvious? It's not like the biceps or like being super tall? Is there something in a guy that you're like, damn, I really like this, and it's out of the norm?
Yeah, I've got a really funny story about this.
Okay.
Okay, so this is like a fair few years ago. It was like one of the times I was like on Tinder. I've probably only ever used Tinder like twice in my life. Both times I maybe gone on like a couple dates and then I'm just like, nah, not for me. So this is like one of the times. Yeah, I think I've only ever been on. I think I've only been on like 5 or so Tinder dates like in my life. Not many. Yeah, so okay, I went on a date with this one guy, yeah, long time ago, and everything was going good. Like he was hot, he was nice, like he seemed like he was really into me, like good job, like pretty much ticked all of the boxes. He was funny.
Okay.
He seemed like he had, I don't know, he lived in like a good area. Yeah, ticked all of the boxes, and then all of a sudden, like I don't know how I didn't notice this straight away, but maybe like half an hour in, right? So he like picks up his drink. And I couldn't help but notice his fingers were like smaller than my fingers. And like I've got small fingers and his fingers were like really small.
Like really
and spidery. Like daddy long legs. Like tight, like smaller than my fingers. And I was like, all of a sudden I couldn't see anything else. All I could look at was this guy's fingers. And I was like, well, look, he ticked every single box, but I just couldn't get over the fact that he had small fingers. And I just like,
were you thinking, okay, small dick? Is that where you're going? Or you just like, I don't care if he's got a big dick too. I don't care if he ticks every box.
The small hands, it just really freaked me out. Yeah, it just freaked me out. Okay. I don't know. I don't even know why. This was the first time it's ever happened. I've never once looked at a person's hands before. But I just couldn't help but notice it. He's like, he was holding the drink kind of like, it was right in my face. And I just, all of a sudden I couldn't see anything else. I just couldn't look at him the same then. I don't even know why. Like to this day, I don't know why. I just thought it was I couldn't even tell you what it is, but it gave me the ick. So apparently I have this
guy needing like 2 hands to pick up his glass because his hands are so small. Like
smaller than my hands. So like
you have tiny hands.
Like,
so.
It gave me the ick. That's all I can say. Like there's no other reason that I can give. It just gave me the ick. No, I didn't end the date, but
it didn't go anywhere.
I rejected him like afterwards.
Yeah. Did you ever say like listen? Maybe.
No. Because you can't fix your fingers. You can't get like finger extensions. Because I'm sure
maybe he's gonna wear like gloves or something.
Yeah, I'm sure other girls wouldn't mind it. So like, it's not like it's like an issue that would affect all girls. It's not like it's like ED or something like that. True. That's like a real issue. Like some people probably don't care, but now ever since then, the first thing I do now is check out a guy's fingers. And if they've got like fat, manly looking fingers, I'm like, oh.
So it's the opposite as well. Okay, so it's the opposite. So if a guy's got like manly hands, you're like, damn, that's kind of hot.
Yeah, like that's now it's like the first thing I look at.
Okay.
Ever since that experience.
Can I tell you something crazy? So there's been a girl that I've been seeing lately. And she also, by the way, I've noticed this girl checking out my hands. She's done the cat test, okay? She's looked at these hands and made sure. I'm like, what are you doing? So she as well, like, finds it like very, I don't know if this is like a common thing. She finds like very sexy if a guy has like nice hands. It must be a thing.
Yeah, no, well, I think it is a thing. It's kind of like, I don't know. It is like, because those fingers, they like hold you and they hold your hand and go inside you and grab your neck. Like, how do you, I don't want like frail little daddy long leg fingers like grabbing, trying to choke me. Like his fingers probably like might snap off.
Up in there.
Yeah, I need to be manhandled. That's like why they call it manhandling.
That's true.
Yeah,
right, so,
show me your fingers. Now I don't know. Listen, I need to. Yeah, they look manly.
There's some manly hands, okay, Kat. This is some manly. That's gold. All right, so hands. Yeah, anything else?
You know what? I've got a question.
What about feet? Are you checking that you got manly feet? Okay, good, like not extra small feet going on there. So something.
Oh, all right. You know what? I hate feet. Hey, do you have a foot fetish?
I wouldn't say no. I don't have a foot fetish, but I've dated girls before that have had like foot fetishes.
Wait, stop. Yeah. Girls have had foot fetishes?
Yeah.
I thought foot fetishes were like a thing that guys had.
No, girls have foot fetishes too.
Okay, wait. Well, all right. This is new information. Rewind. What does a girl with a foot fetish like? Does she want to give you foot jobs like for herself? Does she want to lick your feet? Like, how does a foot fetish work on a girl? Because like I've obviously had clients that have foot fetishes, like they just like suck on my feet and whatever, or like get feet pics. Like, so are you sending feet pics out to these girls? Like, what? How does this work?
I don't think I've ever sent a foot pic, but yeah, it works both ways. Like, so some of these girls, yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Some of these girls, as you mentioned, they either like playing with your feet or they like their own feet being touched or played with, right? So it can go both ways. But yeah, I've had that, but it doesn't, like, for me, I think you know this, right? Like, I'm a pretty open fucking guy. And so if a girl's like is into feet, whatever, it doesn't fucking worry me. I'm not one of those guys that like he's creeped out by feet and he's like, oh no, like fucking, which sounds like you are, right? Like feet is a big no-go for you, it sounds like.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if a guy had really bad feet, like I feel like that would probably put me off as well. I've never had it where a guy's just had disgusting feet that I've like been seeing. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. Do I look at feet? I don't know. I feel like I just hate feet so much. Now that's a good question. I mean, I guess if you had really gross feet, I probably would be a bit turned off by it.
Yeah, sounds like you're pretty neutral then.
Yeah, look, I don't know. I feel like it would depend. I feel like the feet would have to be like really bad.
Okay.
I don't know.
So all right, so we got hands. Is there anything else you look for? Is there something else that guys can be perfect in every way, but one thing throws you off?
Oh, well, okay. Look, I guess this is probably just a preference. Like, I don't know how much I don't think this would be as big of a, like, I don't think it would give me the ick, but I always notice a person's teeth.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Do you ever notice a person's teeth? Because I do. If a guy's got a nice smile, maybe if he's not that attractive, but he's got a great smile, all of a sudden he's just like much more attractive. He's got like really great teeth.
Yeah.
Because it's like you've put in effort into these teeth.
I hear this from a lot of my students where it's like something they look for in a girl is like nice teeth, and if they don't have it, it's like a deal breaker. But you have amazing teeth, by the way, Kat. Damn.
I do.
Okay, it's a $1 million smile right there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, these teeth were not cheap. Like I've had a lot of work done to these teeth to make them nice. Like I was in braces for like 4 years.
Damn,
and
that's
I've had
a long
them
time.
Widened and
is that normal? 4 years? That feels like forever.
No, my teeth were I had really messed up teeth. Damn. I had to get like 3 operations on like my teeth as well because I had 3 teeth that grew like. So 2 teeth at the top grew basically at the back of my mouth. Like they didn't grow where the teeth were supposed to grow. And then I had 1 tooth that was growing like down where like basically like where my chin was.
Jesus Christ.
So I had
teeth
to
growing out of everywhere.
Yeah, literally. So what they had to do was, so this is why it was such a long process with me and my braces, because what they had to do was put the braces on first, and then they had to like separate spaces in my teeth and then they attach, like this is like true story, they attached chains. I don't know if this is still how they do it, but this is how they did it back when I was young. They had to attach a chain to these teeth and actually pull them into the right spot. So that obviously took a long time for these teeth to be dragged over to the rest of where my teeth was. And then they obviously had to widen all of my teeth to make space for these teeth. And then after they did all of that, then they could like actually straighten them.
So this is like a fucking work of art. Essentially.
Yeah. So literally, I literally had to. Yeah, but there was a very, very long process to like get all my teeth where they're supposed to be. So can you believe that once upon a time I had like my teeth were messed up? Yeah.
No, I can't picture that. Damn.
I know. I'm surprised they actually made them look so nice.
Such an appreciation now. You're like, listen, I went through 4 years of fucking hell. Okay. So now
I
appreciate
oh my God.
some nice teeth, right? I appreciate a good
smile.
it
was hell. I kind of miss my braces though. Oh, this is another little fetish that I had. I to be honest, I always had this fetish in high school and I still have this fetish today. I love a man in braces. Or just anyone in braces, even a girl in braces.
Okay, I can understand.
I always thought braces were so hot.
Okay, I can understand a girl because it's kind of like cute, right? But a guy? Like
yep.
Really?
Yep. I love it.
Why?
Yep.
What about it? Is it just because like it's
I don't know.
You're one of us?
I think it's hot. No, I don't know. I think it's hot. I don't know why.
Maybe because,
I think it's so hot when they have braces.
And maybe because you're like, they're about to have a great smile. Maybe it's like,
nah, not even that. I would just say leave the braces on.
Get out of here.
I love them. I don't know why. I think they look so cool.
Braces. All right, respect.
Yeah, I used to rock my braces. I would like by the end of like by the time I got my braces off, like I kind of like just, I don't know, maybe it's just because I had braces on for so long that I just like learned to like I don't know. I liked them. I even liked how they looked on me. Like once my teeth started looking a little bit better, and I looked a little bit less scary with like holes and stuff in my teeth. I don't know. I thought I looked cute in braces. I thought other people looked cute in braces. I don't know.
I'm with you with girls.
It's really weird.
For me, I do. Like if girls are in braces, I think it's like kind of cute. It's like quirky. Whatever.
Like when I see a guy in adult braces, I'm like, oh my God, that's so hot.
What about the Invisalign, right? If a guy's at dinner,
nah,
he's like taking out his
that's
Invisalign.
lazy. Absolutely lazy. Get braces. Get braces, you wank.
Work. Exactly. you fucking pretender. All right, that's fair.
Yeah. Oh my God.
All right, so listen, this is what I like. Okay. What do you think I like actually? Let me ask you this. What do you think I like that might be a bit cool?
Did you say you look at teeth, or did you say you don't look at teeth?
Nah, teeth is, sure. Like, it's not a big thing for me. Like, if a girl's got nice teeth, amazing.
What, really? It's not a big thing for you? So if somebody has disgusting yellow teeth.
Listen, obviously. Like, if they've got, like, fucking the worst teeth ever and they've got, like, fucking stinky breath and teeth are poking out of you, then, it's super unattractive. But if a girl has, like, a gap between a tooth or something, or, like, what?
Okay. A bit of a gap. I think that's a bit cute. That's, like, model-ish, right?
Yeah, it's a bit cute.
Okay, all right. What do I think you're into?
Yeah, what do you think?
Glasses?
Okay, yeah, glasses. That's true. I do like some glasses.
I don't know, because that's a bit cutesy, librarian, submissive. I feel like you'd be into a girl wearing glasses.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it wasn't what was on my mind, but it's true. You got some glasses? Yeah, it's kind of hot.
Is it? Oh, okay. Well, all right. What do I think you're into?
Okay. I like
crazy hair colors.
True. Yes. Now we're talking.
All right, I'm getting warmer.
Yeah, if you got some like pink hair, blue hair, hit me.
Yeah, because you really liked that wig that I was wearing for a bit. That pink one.
That's true. Yeah. Listen, if
you're really into that.
Yeah. Listen, you just color your hair like a fucking crazy color. It's hot. I'm there for it. It's kind of sexy.
All right, give me one more.
All right, what about body part? Okay. What body part do you think I'm oddly attracted to?
Oh, I know you like smaller boobs. Is that what you were thinking?
I do like fit titties, but that's what I think a lot of guys like fit titties. Okay.
Yes, because I had small boobs once upon a time, and I had a lot of guys that liked me, like my small boobs when I had them.
Exactly.
Okay, all right, I give up. All right, what is it? Are you thinking of something?
It's two things. Okay. One,
God.
Neck. Okay. If the girl's like a slim,
that's random.
Yeah, it turns me. That's why when girls do like their high ponytail because it like shows off their neck and shit, I find that so hot. I think it's like, woof, I'm there for it. Like you got like a tall, slender girl, like this slim neck. That's good.
Okay. What does the neck need to look like for it to be attractive? 'Cause, like now I'm just like,
you're like judging your neck.
Does it look like my neck? Like, does it have to be skinny or long? Like how?
Yeah, look. It's hard for me to describe it because it's like something that I see and it's like attractive to me. But I'm sure there's like a ratio to it, right? I'm sure there's a ratio of like how it looks compared to the rest of the body. But like a taller, slender neck, I don't know, it does it for me, especially with like a high ponytail where you're like short off. That oddly turns me on. That gets me going.
That's so random.
That is random. Yeah, that is random. Yeah, I always thought it was normal.
I've never heard of anyone growing
having
a neck fetish.
When I was young going through school, I thought it was normal. I was like, dude, that girl's got a sexy neck. And then my mates were like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I was like, dude, her neck is sexy. They're like, who says that? I was like, all right, we're going to keep this to myself for now.
Yeah, that's a little bit weird.
Yeah, no, I love it.
I don't know. Unusual. I don't know. But I guess it's, I guess it's not more weird than like hands though, I think.
That's true. Yeah, you're weirder than me is what we've established. Okay. All right, let's go back to titties. So, plastic surgery, right? Do you think? I mean, listen. You're a little bit biased here. Okay, you're a little bit biased. But what are your thoughts on like boob jobs? Obviously, you're a big fan.
Oh, all right. Is this a hot or not? Hot or not? Fake tits.
Yeah,
I would say fake tits are hot. All right, I would say fake tits are hot, but depends how it's done because obviously there's like a scale like with fake boobs, right? So you've got them where they look really natural and then you've got them where they kind of look a little bit in the middle. So it's like, oh, you can kind of tell they're not maybe real, but they still kind of look a little bit not too overdone. And then you've got them where they're like super, super overdone.
Yeah.
I would say I like it where they kind of are like in the middle. So it's like, I mean, because I feel like if you got fake tits and it looks like you don't have fake tits. It's like, why even bother getting fake tits?
I couldn't agree with you more.
Do you know what I mean?
There's a lot of girls that are like, look, I'll get fake tits, but I want it to look like supernatural, blah, blah. And I'm like,
yeah, I just feel like, what's the point?
Yeah, like you kind of want them to be abnormally perky, right? You want people to look at it and be like, that's defying laws of gravity right now. But I get what you're saying. You don't want it like too ridiculous where it just looks like a cheap
too ridiculous just
job.
Looks when they're too ridiculous, like too round or too too just
it feels too fake at that point. It's like
when it's just not proportioned.
Exactly.
I just feel like that's a bit over the top, like when you can't look anything other.
So when it's like a little bit teardroppy, but you know they're like fake still, and I'm down for
well, I feel like I mean, my boobs as an example. Like I really like the boob job that I got, because some people you can tell that they're fake. Some people think they're real. It's kind of like I'm just like parading them in the camera now.
Exactly. Those listening on the podcast.
It's like you can kind of tell that they're a bit fake, but they're not over the top fake.
Agreed.
So that's kind of what I like, because I mean too big is just like it just looks a bit ridiculous. Like, I don't even. I'd see the appeal though. Like a lot of girls in the sex industry get those like massive boobs, and there is a fetish for it. I guess if you're trying to appeal to that certain demographic and like, you know, from a job perspective, then I get it. But like, I mean, if you're not a sex worker and that's not your kind of niche, like for me, it just wouldn't work. Like if I got like ridiculous boobs, my clients would be like, what? Like what the hell? Like it just wouldn't fit my niche. And then again,
needs to kind of fit your body type as well. Like you're a shorter, like you know, being short and petite and like skinny, and then just having like ridiculously big tits, I think would like look like misproportioned in a way. Whereas if you're like a curvy, taller girl, I think you can get away with like bigger tits. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I am going for a little. I did go for an upsize consult though the other week, but like only like a couple sizes. He said you can go up to a couple of sizes bigger, which to be honest, I feel like my boobs are not that big.
Okay.
And I got them when I was like a lot skinnier, so I feel like I could go maybe a couple sizes bigger.
All right.
I reckon.
Is this like a downward slope in a few years' time? You're gonna be like,
I
could just a couple more sizes. I could just do a little bit more.
No, I don't think I'd ever be one of those girls with like comically large breasts. Like I'm too small for it. Like I think it would actually like snap my back in half.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, I would. No, for sure.
It's interesting though, because do you know how I was saying like I like fit titties, right? I don't mind small titties. A girl I was actually seeing had perfectly small titties, and she was like, I'm thinking about getting a boob job, and I was like, no, don't do it. I'm like, no, but then she got it. I was like, okay, all right, it's pretty good, right? So I think I think when it comes to tits, it's like so many, like there's so many like range of like personal preference. Like we just spoke about teeth. I think for the most part, people, you know, there's a set of teeth people like, there's a set of teeth people don't like. Boob jobs, I think it's like everyone has their own like opinion and flavor, and so like just do what you think looks good and what you like, and I think you're good to go. You know,
the thing with cosmetic surgery, right? And boob jobs in particular is, and this is why I think that like fake tits are better. It's because with fake tits you can sculpt and create like the perfect tit, whereas it's really hard to just be born with a perfect tit. It can be done. I have seen girls that are just born with naturally perfect tits. It's obviously very very hard for that.
Kat, I mean, no word of a lie. There was a girl that I dated like 5 years ago, okay? And I was convinced she had a boob job. I was like, you had a boob job? She's like, I didn't. Like, check, there's 0 scars. And I'm like, okay, fair call. But these tits just look so incredibly fake. Like, that is the one girl I've ever met where I was like, you just have perfect tits. Like, I don't know how this happened, but they define gravity. They're like super, I'm like, yo, like, I don't know how they did this, okay? But this is amazing surgery. She's like, I didn't get surgery. I'm like, listen, it's amazing, okay? I don't know how they do it. There's no scars. But yeah, other than that girl, I've never met anyone.
I can probably name on one hand like the amount of girls I've seen that have had like naturally perfect boobs. Yeah. But see, the thing with the boob job is like you can sculpt like your perfect boob. Like I like my boobs, but these were not the boobs that I was born with. But I basically went to my surgeon and I showed them pictures and I was like, these are the boobs that I want this my boobs to look like this boob. Like I want them to look like that. And then he's like, oh, okay, well, then we need to do X, Y, Z, blah, 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 blah. And he made my boob literally look exactly like how I wanted it to look. But then, okay, the disclaimer that I just want to say as well to like other people listening is I have seen a lot of boob jobs that look terrible. And you really need to go to a good surgeon and listen to the advice of your surgeon to get like a really good result. Because yeah, I've seen some boob jobs and it's like, you know what, your boobs actually looked better before.
Yeah. And if you listen,
because some boob jobs are really terrible.
If you're going to go through all that pain, right? Because it's painful, yeah. If you're going to go through that risk, you might as well like save it up, pay the little bit of extra money, and get someone that you know is going to like do a really good job with it. Like this is something where you don't just want to like get the budget option, essentially, right? Like you want to be able to go to a doctor that you completely trust, and that you're going to get a good job with, you know.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Like, well, even with me, because I ended up having to get 2 surgeries on my boobs and it cost me an arm and a bloody leg, but you know what? It was worth it. Because I was like, this is how I want my boobs to look. And he's like, oh, we'll have to give you a lift as well then, but we'll have to do it in 2 surgeries. Otherwise it won't look as good. Oh, so wow. And I was like, oh, I kind of want them to look a bit teardroppy. And he's like, no, we've got to have to put round implants in because they're going to end up dropping and it'll look like a teardrop. I was like, you know what, whatever. You're the expert. If you say that this is like what to do, then that's what to do. So it was like a year-long process because I had to get a lift first. I got a lift and a reconstruction, and then I had to wait for that to heal for a year, and then a year later I was allowed to get implants. So it was a long, expensive process, but my boobs look exactly like how I wanted them to look.
There you go. Is there any other surgery that you'd get in the future? Is there anything?
Well, I got my nose done last year. Yeah. And again, surgeon cost me an arm and a leg, but he did a great job. Like everybody looking at my nose. That's really nice. Other surgeries. I went for a consult to get a BBL, but they said I was too skinny, so that went out the window.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I would like a bigger butt.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm a fan of BBLs. I got to be honest here. Like, this is the thing, right? It's something with cosmetic surgery is if they've done it really good, like we were talking about before with the tits. Like, if they've done BBLs really good and you don't notice them, then I probably don't know the girls had a BBL, right? But there's a few girls that I've seen that it's very obvious they've had it done, and it just doesn't look right. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's like with tits, it's like you know they're fake and they still look good. But something about the ass, it's like once you know it's fake, at least for me, it just doesn't do it for me. I don't know what it is. And also then the feel is like a little off too. I don't know. I could change my mind over time, but as of now, like every time I've seen a BBL, I've just not been that big of a fan.
Yeah, look, I think BBL, it's I think it's kind of the same thing. It's like if it's too extreme looking, then it's a bit of a turn off. It kind of has to I think be a little bit in the middle. Yeah. I've seen a couple of people with BBLs who like it, they've looked good, but then I've seen a lot that are just really bad. Yeah. It depends. I feel like and I tell this to people all the time.
Sorry, Kat, how do they do the BBL? Like they take essentially fat from other parts of your body.
Yeah, you get lipo.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, you get lipo from places and then they inject it into your ass. But it's not, look, so I went for a consult to get a BBL and it's not a simple process. So like the first thing was they're like, oh, you're too skinny, you'll have to gain weight. So a lot of these girls are gaining weight just to get a BBL. And I was like, I'm absolutely not okay with gaining weight. Like there's no way that I'm doing that. So that's one. That's like point 1. Point 2, they said that the fat transfer, majority of the fat doesn't last. Like it goes away. They're like, I can't remember what percentage of it, but they're like, it'll look plump for like the first little bit and then it goes away or gets like digested or whatever. Yeah. So the amount of fat that ends up lasting is maybe like 10%. Damn. So that was another thing. So they're like, a BBL is something you have to constantly keep doing to like replump it up. That. And then the third thing was they said that for a BBL to even look good, you have to already kind of have an ass. We can't give you an ass out of like no ass. Like you need to have something there already.
Because that's the thing, right? They're injecting like essentially fat. So because a lot of great asses, it's mostly muscle, right? So it's a different look and it's a different feel. Whereas if you're just injecting fat into the ass, I feel like it feels different and looks a little bit different too. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the old BBL. Okay, is there anything else that
I would get done
on the horizon? Yeah.
Well, no, probably not yet. I reckon I would get a facelift when I'm older for sure. Okay. I can see myself doing that. I've gotten everything else. Yeah, I'm a bit of a way away from that, but I reckon I would 100% get a facelift. Like Yeah, I want to look like this when I'm still 50.
Yeah, no, fair.
All right. Well, just on cosmetic surgery in general, like what's your take on cosmetic surgery on girls? Like, or just anything, even like fillers and things like that.
Yeah,
Are you like a natural titty kind of guy?
Yeah, look, how do I explain this? It's going to depend on the girl. As we were saying before, if it looks kind of natural, looks nice, I'm all down for it. Like, it really depends on the girl itself. And I think like just as an overall like feeling that I have about it for myself is the whole idea of like mental health in the backdrop of this is something that I think about as well. So if I have friends or anything that come to me and it's like, yo, I really want to get this surgery done, or I want to get this like cosmetic procedure done, my first question is always like, okay, like, what do you hope to gain from it? Like, why are you doing this essentially? Like, what is your goal? Because I think the real worry is that some people go into this hoping that like this is the solution to their body image issues or their happiness. Is like, all I need to do is fix this. And I think that's a really unhealthy way to go into it. I think going into it thinking like, yeah, look, I think it'll look better and like I'll feel better in myself and that's cool and that's great. Then sure, go for it. So like my personal feeling is I have this like dissonance around promoting it in a sense or saying that I like it, because I think like mental health is something you have to be really careful of in that space. But on the other hand, yeah, I think a lot of cosmetic surgery looks amazing. It increases the how do I say this? Yeah, I mean it looks beautiful, right? It looks attractive. So yeah, it depends on the girl, it depends on what it looks like afterwards. But yeah, for the most part, I'm a fan. I'm down.
Yeah, the mental health thing, that's actually an interesting point, because when I went to get my nose done, I had to go for meetings with the surgeon had like a psychologist or a counselor or something that I had to go for like sessions with leading up to it. Because and then she was explaining to me that apparently a lot of girls like handle nose jobs like really badly afterwards, because it's like you don't feel like yourself after. And like, yeah, I don't know. The way she explained it, because like once I got like the cast off, like I didn't experience any of that. I loved it straight away. But apparently a lot of people don't. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. And then I got so scared because I was like, oh my God, what if I hate my face? Yeah, exactly. They take this off and then I hate my face. Apparently it's actually more common than not. They say it's more common for girls to actually hate their face after. And I'm like, that's so crazy.
And that's why I think having that consult is super important. Like I really think that for every major cosmetic surgery that you get, you should have like a psych consult. I really believe that. And as you said, like it might not even be that they don't like what it looks like. It might just be that it doesn't meet their expectation. So if you go in there thinking, okay, I don't like the way I look and I think it's my nose and I just need to get that fixed and I'm going to be so happy and I'm going to love the way I feel and I'm going to love who I am. And then you come out of there, you're like, well, not much has changed. My nose looks a lot better now, but I still don't feel great about myself or the way that I look. Then it's like you created this huge expectation. It's never going to get met with like this surgery. So yeah, I think like that whole idea of having a psych consult is a really good idea when it comes to cosmetic surgery.
Yeah, that's a good point. What about cosmetic surgery on guys?
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, once again,
have you had any cosmetic work done?
No, never.
Not even Botox?
Never.
Not even like teeth whitening?
Actually, teeth whitening, yes. My brother's a dentist, so I had that done like 4 years ago, but it was painful as fuck. My teeth were like so sensitive.
Oh, was it like the one where they like laser it?
Yeah.
Or something?
Yeah. It fucking sucked. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not what I do. I just have like a gel that I wear at night.
See, I do that. Like that's not a problem for me. But I think with guys, like the way we're set up in society right now, a lot of these cosmetic surgeries feel and look very feminine. So when I see guys like with Botox, for example, I feel like it doesn't look as nice or as like natural as it does on women, just because of the way society's set up and the way we see things. But for example, like hair transplants, I think a lot of guys get those done and it looks fucking great. Nose jobs, I don't really know any guy that's got a nose job before, but I imagine it's like fairly similar to women. I think like, yeah, it can look great. But then you hear about surgeries where like guys are trying to get like height extensions. And so they're breaking these guys' femurs and and again, it just looks weird because it's the whole idea of like muscle, right? Like what looks really nice on a guy is like when they're filled up and they got muscle. But when you got like an implant, like this plastic thing that's moving, it doesn't feel the same. It doesn't, to me, like that doesn't actually increase attraction. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of surgeries that I think guys get cosmetically or potentially could get that I think just don't look good. But that's like my personal opinion. I mean, I guess it comes down to like how the guy feels in their own body after they get it done, and also I guess how like the people in their life, like women they're potentially like going to be with, feel about it. But how would you feel? Like say you had this guy that had a shirt on, he looked like buff, and then he takes it off and he's like peck is moving around. He's got like an implant in there.
Okay, I don't think that's how it works with like pec implants, that they just like move around like that. I don't know. I don't really mind it.
Maybe it's been like a dodgy surgery, but I've seen those shows where like they move it, and it's just like, yeah.
But my implant doesn't move. Like, I mean, you can feel it if you grab it a bit, but like it doesn't move. I can't like move it into my back or anything.
Yeah, but you have some like,
because it's like attached to the muscle.
Yeah, I was going to say you have here. Let me look it up, because as far as I understand,
I'm not actually sure, but I'm pretty sure the implant is like scratchy and they stick it onto the muscle, I think.
But you have like I think it's slightly different with women, because you have like breast tissue that they can pop it behind. With guys, I don't know how that works. Let me look it up. Male pec implants.
So, yeah, I'm not
maybe
really
it was
sure.
like just a really old dodgy surgery.
I mean, because I was seeing this guy.
Creepy.
I was seeing this guy once. This was the guy that like moved to Europe. Do you remember him?
Yes.
That guy. He was like a little princess. Like he used to get Botox and like eyebrow waxes and like fake tan and teeth filler, like lip filler and all that. Like he used to get like a lot of stuff done and laser and all that. And I mean, he just looked really good. He just looked so clean and neat. And I was into it because I was like, this guy just looks clean and neat. And smooth skinned, and I was
AART pectoral.
Looked great.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, I mean,
guess it depends. Like he looked neat.
That's what I see. It's like
it made him look neat and tidy.
Yeah.
AART
like it wasn't overdone, but it made him kind of just look neat and tidy. Like nice tidy eyebrows and stuff.
Okay.
So
even like eyebrows, like it just looks too feminine for me when guys have like their eyebrows sculpted. But look, you're the girl, right? It's what you like.
Yeah, I don't mind. Yeah. I mean, because I'm pro cosmetic surgery, I guess.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't think it really bothers me that much. Like I don't think it's that weird. It's just like, oh yeah, cool, you do you, boo.
Yeah, I think it's probably like, I feel like the way it's going in society right now, it's going to be more and more accepted. So even like if I look at the amount of women I know with like boob jobs, I feel like it's so common now. And I mean, I don't know the stats on it, but that's just my feeling. And so I imagine even when it comes to like guys getting cosmetic surgery, I think that's just going to increase as well. So who knows, maybe when we're like fucking 70 years old, like there's going to be a bunch of people walking around with pec implants. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Oh, 100%, because you're so right. Like I think most people I know have boob jobs, and so many people are getting nose jobs now.
True.
Like I remember back in the day, I didn't know anyone who had like a nose job.
Yeah.
Like just 5 years ago. Now I know heaps of people that have had nose jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
True.
Interesting.
True.
Alrighty.
All right.
You have a question for us?
I do. Let me just pull it up real quick.
Dun dun dun.
Right.
This would be like a good little moment, just like a little.
All right, so
oh my God.
we got a question here from Philip. So he was asking essentially about girls that aren't into oral. So he said he was with this girl, he was going down on her, and it just looked like she wasn't fucking interested, she wasn't enjoying it. And then later on, she kind of mentioned to him, I just don't like oral, don't like when guys get down on me. So he asked, like, what the fuck do I do about this? And I know we've spoken about this before. You also don't like oral, right?
Yeah, I don't like oral, and you also don't like oral.
I don't. Yeah, I'm not a fan. But I think we don't like it for different reasons, right? Like mine's a power dynamic. What is the reason for you?
So with me, I don't know. I look, I can't speak for this girl, but this is just my personal reasons as to why I don't like oral. Is one, my clit is really sensitive. Mm-hmm. So I have a really sensitive clit, which I've spoken about on the show. So usually when they're going down on me, it just kind of, it's a bit too much for me to handle because they basically focus on their clit, and I don't really like clit stimulation because it's so sensitive. So it's like too much. Like it's too much to the point where it's not enjoyable. I only like clit stimulation if it's like really, really, really soft and like just a little bit, like not a lot and not for a long period of time. So that's why I don't like oral. Well, actually that's one reason. And then another reason is I get bored. I'm kind of just lying there. I don't find it as enjoyable as things being inside me. Like, I just like things being inside me. I just want fingers or a dick inside me. Like, that's that is what I find the best. I am not interested in having my clit played with. It literally, I have no interest in it.
Okay.
None whatsoever. Cool. So that's me. So she might be the same. Like, she could just be somebody that finds it boring, or maybe her clit is, maybe it's the opposite for her, and maybe her clit is not as sensitive. Like, I've met some girls that have clits that are not sensitive at all, like to the point where they probably don't feel that much on their clit. So maybe she just doesn't feel as much on her clit as maybe other girls do, and maybe that's why she's not enjoying it.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah, no, I agree. I think like the first important step is to ask the girl, right? Like, figure out exactly what she doesn't like about oral. Because look, it might just be you. Like, maybe she loves oral and you're just like, no idea what the fuck you're doing. Or as you said, like, she has certain patterns that she likes. So maybe it's too sensitive, maybe it's not sensitive enough. Maybe she's used to having like vibrators, or maybe she doesn't. Maybe it's like a power dynamic. I've had a lot of girls that don't like don't like oral essentially because they don't feel as submissive in that space, right? So it's important just to ask the girl, figure out like what is the reason she doesn't like it. And then based off that answer, you need to essentially switch up what you're doing. So if it is a sensitivity thing, and for example, with Kat in your case, like if the girl's very sensitive, then as you mentioned, you need to start super fucking slow. Like, just use your lip and don't tense it, right? Whenever you add like tension into your mouth, it's going to make it a little bit more sensitive on the clit. So you can just use like the soft part of your lip to start with. And you don't even need to touch the clit, right? You can go around it. You can use like the hood of the clit so it's not so exposed. So this is what you can start doing, and just start really slow. If it's the other way and the girl isn't that sensitive and it's not doing too much, then you do the opposite of this. So you tense your tongue as you play with the clit. It's going to make it a little bit more firm and sharp. And then you can also expose the hood. So either just use your thumbs or your palm of your hand and just retract the hood back a little bit to expose the clit a little bit more as you play with it. You can add in vibrators as well if they enjoy that. So that's one aspect. The other aspect that I see a lot is this whole idea of like dominance. So there's some women that just, as I said before, they're getting their pussy eaten out. They find it a bit boring. They don't feel like they're getting dominated. So you can also add to that. You might want to tie the girl up. You might want to like grab their thighs and like really pin them down to the bed as you're eating her out. You might want to add some dirty talk in there. You might want to tell like not to move at all, to be quiet. You might want to add a gag, blindfold, things like that. So that's something to think about. At the end of the day, though, if someone like Kat who just says, look, okay, it's okay, but I'm just really not into it. I prefer something inside of me. Then put something inside of her, right? Like, there might be some girls where you might just not want to eat them out, but maybe you want to finger instead. You want to fuck. There's other ways to play. But to summarize, just figure out why. Figure out why she's not enjoying it. Try correct it. At the end of the day, if she wants something else, then give her something else. So
that's probably a good point to just ask.
Yeah,
like maybe she's just not into it, or maybe this is one thing that guys like a lot, and it's surprisingly a lot of guys do this one mistake when they're giving oral, and it's they lick the hole instead of the clit. Like maybe you're just aiming wrong.
Maybe wrong area, bro. Yeah, it's really important, because something that you can actually do, especially if it's a girl you're seeing, is do like an alignment exercise. We may have spoken about this on the show before. I can't remember, but you can just tell the girl, look, let's play this game, okay? For the next 5 minutes or however long, 2 minutes, whatever, I'm just going to go down on you. And every 30 seconds or every whatever, I just want you to tell me like up, down, left, right, harder, softer. I want you to talk dirty. I want you to put my hips down, like whatever. Like or just keep going. Just continue the same. But every like 30 seconds, you tell me exactly what I need to do. And obviously, like, it's not going to be enjoyable as a girl because she's like thinking and she's in her head a little bit. But it's going to actually show you and teach you what exactly she wants. You're able to align with her a little bit more. And then in the next section, hopefully you can like pick up on these cues and understand exactly what she likes and doesn't like. But yeah, so many guys are afraid to just ask. Right? So many guys. And look, you don't want to sound like a little pussy, right? You don't want to be in the bedroom sound like you have no idea what you're doing. And are like, so what are you? But you can say it in a very confident way. You can just be like, look, what I've noticed is every girl's like super different, right? I'm curious, what exactly do you like? Okay. And figure it out and go from there. Because yeah, you're better off asking and being a little bit like weird about that, as opposed to continually going down on the girl and her just not enjoying it. So just ask.
Yeah. Good advice, I think.
Yeah, no. Hopefully that helps Philip, and hopefully it helps the girl. Hopefully she has a good time.
Yeah.
Kat,
All right.
favorite
Closing
part?
off with my sex
Hit me.
fact.
Yes.
Yeah. So my sex fact this week. So this one's actually a really interesting one.
Oh.
Apparently, the average man has 11 erections per day and 9 per night.
Interesting.
You're a man. Does this make sense? Are you getting this many erections? Are you just walking around with an erect penis all day,
Mate,
every day?
when I was a teenager, yeah, 11 during the day. Not now. Like walking around during the day, at night, I'm sure, right? Every time I wake up during the night, I'm fucking hard. It's crazy. But during the day, it's like you get hard when you're turned on. Like when you're a teenager, you will get like erections for no reason, right? You'll just be sitting around. But right now, like, no, that doesn't happen when you're an adult, right? Well, after you go through puberty, you're not just going to be like getting water from the fridge and being like, oh shit, I'm hard, right? It doesn't happen like that. Like it's when you're turned on.
Are you sure? Is that just you, or is there maybe guys that do get random stiffies still?
Nah. There's no one I know where you're sitting around playing PlayStation and some guy's like, oh,
and they're
fuck,
like,
I'm
oh
hard.
shit.
Yeah, no, it doesn't fucking happen. It happens when you go through puberty.
So because I remember that happening.
Yeah.
In high school, like guys would be sitting at class and they'd be like, oh shit.
Yeah, exactly. It was just for no reason whatsoever. But like if we're sitting around and maybe I'm messaging a girl and we're dirty talking, yeah, like there were times where I was like listening to a lot of erotica. Like I was getting into it. I was writing erotica. And so I'd be in the gym like with audiobooks of erotica. And I'd be working out like with a fucking boner because I'm just like listening to this shit. But if I'm just, as I said, like if I'm doing some fucking work at home or something, you're not just sitting there with the fucking erections. It doesn't happen like that. So yeah, interesting numbers. Maybe I'll need to count, see how many erections I get during the day.
Yeah, but, that's really random because 11 in a day sounds like
it sounds like
many.
A lot. Yeah, that sounds like
so much.
Yeah, I feel
even
like
when you were younger, would it be 11 in a day when you were younger?
Oh yeah, as a teenager, Jesus, yeah. Is it
oh, okay. Maybe the teenagers are distorting these
exactly.
numbers a little bit.
I think so. Yeah. I remember sitting in math class and just fucking just erections and all.
All right. So how many erections would you get when you were younger? So like in a day, would you just get an erection like every hour? Like
that's what it felt like. Yeah, it's what it felt like. Looking back.
Okay. So these numbers are really distorted by the teenage population. I think.
Do you know what the worst part is? You'd be at the end of class and the bell goes, like the
and you got a bone and you got to stand up,
and then you're like, oh fuck, you're just like sitting there with your dick out. You're like, oh damn. And so
how would you get rid of it?
Mate,
would you just hold it? You just have to hold it?
Yeah, you gotta like fucking put your bag in front of you or something. Or I don't know. You're a kid, you figure that shit out. But yeah, you gotta think unsexy thoughts pretty quickly to get rid of that. But yeah, just not happening as a fucking adult. You kind of grow out of that, which is a good thing.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Like, do girls get randomly wet during the day?
Yeah, exactly.
It's I do get randomly horny. But I wouldn't say that girls just start like squirting randomly throughout the day.
It's the same thing, right? If you're sitting there and you're horny, you might get wet. But you're not just going to be like fucking, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not just going to be in the grocery store and I've got like squirt coming out of me. Yeah,
you're just like, oh damn, that just randomly, it doesn't happen that way.
Could you imagine that just walking in the store and then a girl just like randomly like
exactly, just squirting. What happened? I don't know, just a random squirt. I don't know, it happens.
Sorry,
sorry about that. Yeah.
God, could you imagine?
That would be funny though. That would be funny. All right. Happy days.
All right. That's it.
Kat, you got anything coming up? Anything you want to share?
I've got a few tours coming up.
Okay, where are you going?
Subscribe to my website, KatijaCortez.com, to stay up to date with all my tours. I'm coming to Canberra, Perth, Brisbane, and Airlie Beach in the next couple of months.
Damn, very nice.
So yeah, no, I haven't been touring for a while. So these are my first tours in like a few months, other than like when we went to Melbourne for the awards. But other than that, I haven't really been touring. So these will be like my first tours basically since I came back from Mexico. Okay. So that's exciting. And I will be at Sexpo Sydney as well. I'll have a booth at Sexpo Sydney. Unfortunately, Mark won't be there because he's not in the country. Yeah. But I'll be there. If you want to see one half of the show, you can come to Sexpo Sydney and I'll be there all 3 days. So that'll be exciting. Other than that, nothing really. What about you? Do you have any courses or anything coming up?
Yeah, no, we're sold out here in Austin, but we'll probably be organizing some workshops later in the year.
What did you sell out for?
Our workshops.
Yeah. Is it like the same thing you did in Sydney that time? Is it like a boot camp, like retreat?
Yep. So we have boot camps and then the one-day workshops. So they're all sold out. But at the end of the year in Europe, we'll probably be opening some up. So anyway, you'll hear more about it.
Awesome.
Happy days. All right. Well, thank you guys, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.